All right, so this is going to be 10 throws from Lamar Jackson from inside the pocket in 2021. Of course, most of this film is going to be from early mid-season. After the Pittsburgh and Cleveland game, we didn't really see Lamar anymore because of injury. These are going to be 10 throws that are not necessarily all great throws. I think there's two bad ones in here or two that are off target. And they're not all catches. They're not all touchdowns. So you're not going to see the Marquise Brown touchdown pass deep right against cover 3 against the Colts at home. You're not going to see the Marquise Brown deep touchdown pass against the Broncos on the road in Week 4. You're not going to see the jump touchdown pass against the Chiefs. I'm trying to show you some quote typical quarterback in the pocket throws because that's the dumb type of stuff that people say whenever you post a video of one or two Lamar Jackson throws. So I'm going to give you 10, and most of these you've seen before. I'll try to give you a slightly different take on them, or at least some updated information, at least from stuff that I've studied over the season. So this is an empty formation here with a bunch set to the right, and of course you got Andrews and Brown over there along with Prochet, so you know that's probably where the read is. It's going to be a touchdown to Andrews on what I call a space concept. Typically space is going to look something like that, where you get either the point man taking the outside release, or in some cases the inside receiver, in this case Andrews, would take the outside release, and you would get good spacing between the defenders, between the receivers in terms of where they end up. Now, the Ravens don't necessarily do it this way. This is the initial release, but they do a really cool thing with Andrews and Brown right about in this area here in the end zone. So let's let it run because I've talked enough. So you can see Brown and Andrews took that initial release that I talked about, and then they kind of switched it, and Andrews brought it back in and then brought it back out. So cool play. Nice throw by Lamar. Let's bring it back one more time, and let's check out Lamar moving in the pocket, and then what he's looking at, and you'll get a nice view of that from the end zone angle as well. You can see he initially looks to his left. I think he's looking at Duvernay. I don't think he's really looking at the under to Freeman. It comes back to the left again, and then finds Andrews late. Of course, he had to get time to do that, obviously, but I think we can all agree that most of the great quarterbacks do get time to throw the football. It's not like they're, Russell Wilson, certain guys, Josh Allen, obviously Lamar. They create time with their athleticism and movement. But one of the elements to being able to throw the ball well consistently is getting good time. So we have to just go ahead and make that an assumption that all quarterbacks are going to be judged on an even playing field in terms of how much time they're given to throw the football. Now, we know that's not necessarily the case because people are going to judge Lamar based on their assumptions from the draft when he came out of Louisville. So here we go. Let's watch him. He looks to his left, our right on the screen, comes back to the right where he had those three receivers, Andrews, Brown, and Prochet. Back to the left, and then finds Andrews finally. Pretty cool, if you ask me, him working through the progression. I think he went through the progression twice, actually. All right, against the Chargers, Week 6, you got bunch formation over here again. You got Bateman, you got Brown, and I think Prochet again. Prochet and Bateman are going to run these two little outside release stop routes. I call this a smash space. So working off the same concept that I just showed you in the last place, space. You got bunch. You always got to worry about guys going in three different directions because there's three receivers and they're tightly aligned. In this case, two of them release to the outside, and the third one, Marquise Brown, runs what I would call the smash route. So they're trying to get the corner to bite up on this route here so they can throw it over the top to Brown, and it works out perfectly. The design of it works out great. Unfortunately, Marquise Brown drops the football. This is an example of everything in Lamar's body being totally in line when he throws the football. So we know he's going to throw the football, in this direction. So everything is aligned in this direction when he does throw the football. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Villanueva looks like he's going to get dumped in his lap for a second, but look how everything is in line. You got the foot pointed this way. Obviously, the eyes and the shoulders open up that way. Is he a little high? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It depends on your experience throwing the football. Sometimes you got to be a little high to throw it. I've thrown a baseball or softball millions of times in my life. Every throw doesn't look exactly the same, but this one looks pretty good to me. It's a dropped pass, obviously. All right, next one. A short pass down in the end zone against Minnesota. Duvernay is going to run this little over concept from the slot. And it works out nicely because on the other side, you've got Andrews running this little check outside route, and he's going to occupy this safety. So, and you've seen this before probably, I'm sure, and you can see even right now the inside linebacker's checking back over here because he knows that this middle area here, could be something he's got to cover. So all Lamar's got to do is throw it around this guy and in a manner that that safety can't get to it, and he's good to go. And we know how this works out. Duvernay runs between the linebackers. Lamar double pumps, I guess, for an instant. And from the end zone angle, you get a nice view of this. I did show this in the week after this game. Lamar's got to throw it, around or over this linebacker as the play develops. And this is the safety here who is being pulled away by Andrews' route. But when Lamar finally does release the football, you can see that he doesn't want to lead Duvernay too far over here. He doesn't want to lead Duvernay into this area here. And you'll see immediately, as soon as I run this again, that the safety's there. So he's got to throw this thing on the back side of the linebacker. I think this is a great throw. I think this is a soft throw. Lamar has great arm talent. He's got a strong arm. I think that should be obvious to anyone. That was obvious coming out of the draft. Somebody tweeted yesterday some old draft footage or old footage of people prior to the draft, I should say, talking about Lamar's arm strength. So we know he's got that. This is a soft throw, intentionally soft, because he doesn't want to throw it too hard out of the back of the end zone. It's a great adjustment by Duvernay. Great ball placement by Lamar. Couldn't place it any better. There's the recovering safety right here who was, initially on Andrews' side. We'll let it run back again just because it's so nice to watch, especially after the way the season ended, right? I'm not sure if you're like me. I like to see the good and the bad. You guys know that I do show you some of the bad plays and talk about them as well. I'll talk about at least one bad throw by Lamar here, but this was definitely not one of them. I thought this was fantastic. All right, an out route on the backside by Andrews. I call this trips right closed. If you're in my Patreon already or you're interested in some of the data that I put in, closed we usually designate as the tight end backside. So, in this case, Andrews is backside. He's the tight end. He's the Y. So we call it closed whenever the tight end is the backside receiver in trips. And then that way we know who's over there. We know it's not the X, which is typically either going to be Bateman or Watkins in the Ravens offense. So we got 21 personnel. This is mislabeled. It says 20. 21 personnel trips right. And we got a backside out route. Or check out route by Andrews. The cool thing about this is I thought the Ravens did a nice job of this when they utilized this pressure, when they utilized this blocking scheme against four-man pressures. When they helped out Villanueva with Ricard or running back, we were able to get time to throw the football. This looks like seven-man protection initially because you've got Freeman coming out of the backfield to the right. You'll see it here in a moment from the end zone angle. But he's a late release valve to the other side. But I think this was a route to Andrews all the way. So Lamar's really good at these. He's play action concepts, coming back, picking up his route. Look, you got a nice seal here by all the offensive linemen. And then Freeman could help out on the edge. When Lamar knew that he was going to have time, he threw the football better. That's that's for every quarterback, right? That statement applies to every quarterback. In the Miami game, when he knew he was going to be pressured on every damn down, he struggled and some of his mechanics weren't great. And okay, fine. That's been the way. It's been that way for quarterbacks for decades, forever, since since the forward pass became such a huge thing. Look again, throwing the football to this direction, everything oriented this way. Easy throw, don't get me wrong, in terms of Andrews having separation. But in any case, Lamar looks good throwing the football. If you don't think so, then say so in the comment section. Against Miami, the resolution on the next couple plays is going to be poor, to be honest with you. This is mislabeled kind of. It's called over wheel sit. I spelled wheel wrong. But it should be under because Andrews is running this under. Brown is running this wheel sit. And I think Bateman is running. That's misdrawn. Bateman is running like this kind of like dig here. And I think he could be coming open, but Lamar identifies this safety as the play develops and then chooses not to throw it there. You'll see it from the end zone angle a little better. You can kind of see Lamar's head now. He's seeing this safety right now and thinking, okay, I'm not going to throw this because the safety's going to be in a manner to defend it. So he comes off of that, goes back to Brown. Yes, is Andrews open? Absolutely. And that happened twice in the Miami game where the under route, one time it was Andrews, one time it was Tomlinson. The under route was wide open, and instead we threw the ball to Marquise Brown. This one was completed. Let's watch Lamar throw here. There's a little play action fake just to get the timing up with the routes. You can see there's some edge pressure here off the left side, no surprise. Lamar's able to step up just a little bit, get enough space, and deliver a good throw. You guys tell me what you think you see, man. I mean, does that look like a guy who can't do this in the NFL? Like, come on. Ridiculous. It's on time. He has protection. He has some confidence. It's outside the numbers. Remember that stupid narrative? These are things that Lamar can do repeatedly when he has time and when his receivers have separation. Those last two elements of it, time and separation by his receivers, every quarterback needs that, right? You're not going to be able to throw someone open all the time. All right, so a mesh concept, not sure if you guys can see that because you got the white on white background. At a bunch, and Prochet is here. Prochet's going to come open late. And Lamar knows he's open right now. He knows that he's open. He recognized it. You can even see his helmet looking there right now. He's just tracking and waiting for him to clear this other guy. He does wait, if you ask me, an instant too long. This is 3rd and 3. We shouldn't be worried about getting the ball super far downfield. Just get it out of there. From the end zone angle, you'll see what I mean. I think he's just a touch. He waits a touch too long, but thankfully there's no pressure to get involved and inhibit his ability to throw the football cleanly. Big gain by Prochet. I thought Prochet had a great game against Denver. Didn't he have like 5 catches, 86 yards? Prochet is here. He's gonna run the over part of the mesh concept. The backside X is gonna run the under. Lamar recognizes it immediately. I think he sees it right now that Prochet is uncovered completely. Checks over here to the backside, make sure there's nobody sitting and waiting, and then once it clears, throws the football. You tell me what you think about Lamar's feet here. Active, short steps, keeping his shoulders pointed where he's supposed to throw the ball. Ball's high. I mean, on these throws that I'm giving you, and I haven't cherry-picked these. These are 10 of 32 throws I have from Lamar in the pocket from the season. I'm just showing these 10 because it's like 5 a.m. and I'm trying to get some content out late in the week. You tell me what you think of his mechanics and the way he's operating inside the pocket in this video. Isolate it towards these 10 plays. And then if you have other plays you want to talk about that he's done a poor job on, that I don't show in this video, then put them in the comments section. And I'll go find them. Guys know that I have referenced multiple times. I've got a ton of Ravens plays saved up and categorized. That's where I'm getting all this data from. All right, and I can pull those things up. So again, anyway, you got a mesh concept again, and this one is typically how you run mesh. You got the 2 under routes here, the one by the X, which is Bateman down the bottom of the screen. That's the under. He's going to go underneath of Duvernay, and the Duvernay is up top to the right. He's the slot, the inside slot. He's going to go over top of Bateman. So we'll let that run a couple times so you can see it develop. There they are, crossing each other in the middle of the field. Sometimes you hit one of them, like the previous play I just showed you. In this case, the Chargers are playing zone. To me, it looks like a zone blitz situation where they're bringing 5 and playing 3 deep, 3 under. This corner kind of stays shallow because he recognizes that it's mesh. So he recognizes the X's went away, so he's probably going to get this other, under route coming to him. Lamar recognizes that as well, and I'll show you that from the end zone angle. And then the guy who ends up being wide open is in the middle of the field. Once those 2 underneath routes develop, once they sort themselves out, and they're covered or uncovered in this case. Now, this is the guy who's open all the time, if you ask me. The guy who's running to the side where the running back releases. So Freeman's going to release here and hold a defender to that side. And in my opinion, my experience with mesh, the guy who's always open every time is the guy who's coming from the opposite side of where the running back releases. Because the running back forces someone to vacate that area, and then he ends up being wide open. Now, the ball is completed to Andrews in here, but the guy I'm talking about is here. Okay, who originated from the other side from where Freeman released. That's what I think I know about mesh. You may have different experiences and different observations, and that's cool. Anyway, Andrews is wide open. Let's watch Lamar from the end zone angle work through this. And again, he has time. I think it's a 5-man blitz, and like I said, a zone blitz by the Chargers. This Mike's gonna hold the center. This guy's gonna stunt around, and I think he tries to go through the B gap. He gets picked up well by Zeitler. My bad. Zeitler picks him up well. Okay, so Lamar, I think he looks good in the pocket again. All he's waiting for right now is he's checking this defender over here, which was the corner who was lined up over Bateman. He's checking that defender to make sure, to see what that defender's doing, to see if that defender's going to come down and take Duvernay on this other shallow cross, or if he's going to recognize that it's mesh and look for Andrews in the middle of the field, because that's the usual way that mesh is run. You got two shallow unders or drags, and then you got the guy sitting in the middle of the field. I did a mesh video a couple of weeks ago, and I posted a picture, and people said, well, that's not how the Ravens run it. Every version of mesh isn't the same. The Ravens don't run it the same way every time. In this case, this is the classic version of mesh, where you have the Y sitting in between the hashes, late to find himself open. Okay, a really cool concept that's simple against what I think looks like probably cover 3. I don't have the coverage up here. I've created a coverage column in my database, but for whatever reason it's not showing up here. Maybe because I didn't fill any data in. But I think this. Let's see. Let's let it run. Yeah, it looks like a really bad version of cover 3 by the Colts. You're going to get this little, I call it bait route by the slot, and all he's doing is trying to hold this defender and or the curl flat defender so that this later developing in route by Brown can be thrown over the top of the curl flat defender. So check the timing of it. Prochet makes his cut, holds the curl flat defender, and then behind him, Brown's able to work in. They hit that concept probably 5 to 6 times to Marquise Brown on the right-hand side of the field this year. It worked out well for them. Lamar had to step up a little bit. He's got edge pressure, I think, from the left again. So I think he's going to get some edge pressure from this left side and has to step up a little bit. But Lamar can operate from this. If you give him this, he's fine. If you give him this, he's fine. You can't give him those situations like Miami where he's already got a guy on top of him. No one can succeed there. Look, he's working through the progression. He's got something off screen here to the left. His left, our right, that he's looking for. It's not there, I guess. He chooses not to throw it. Comes back to Marquise Brown. Boom. I think that's beautiful quarterback play. I don't think that there's a problem there at all. Receives the ball well. Everything looks good with the feet. You guys tell me. There's probably some people better at evaluating quarterbacks than me in the comments section. I'm just the person who's got a little bit of football knowledge and the ability to put the video together in the database and try to package these plays in a progression. All right, so you're going to get cover. Now I got the coverage here. 3-3. That typically indicates zone blitz, but in this case, it's not going to be a zone blitz. All 5 of these guys are rushing. So that's why I put 3-3. It's not a zone blitz where one guy's dropping out and someone is, replacing him in the blitz concept. So they're trying to be tricky. No trickery here, I don't think. Poor video quality. A flood sit concept that's a poor throw by Lamar. So poor video quality, poor throw by Lamar. You get Andrews is pretty much wide open as you're going to get in the NFL here. I think you're getting this under route. He's going to sit here, a clear out route here, and it looks like even the back is ending up on this side. So I got it called flood. You can call it what you want. Flood, to me typically means you got 3 options developing to one side of the field. The back, the late drag by Oliver, and then Andrews sitting and this clear out route. So I think I had it drawn up accurately before, even though the video quality sucks and the throw's bad by Lamar. His feet were just an instant ago, and you'll see it better from the end zone angle. His feet right now are pointed to throw the ball here, and I'm not sure why he doesn't. I guess he sees this curl flat defender, or maybe he's trying to orient his body there for an instant to play poker with this curl flat defender and make this guy move in this direction, trying to move him with his eyes, with his body, to get him going that way so then he can bring it back to Andrews here, which is what he tries to do. But it's just a really off-target throw. Whatever he was doing mechanically there, I'm open to the idea that he was trying to bait that curl flat defender to go with the running back. I'm open to that idea. I'm not closing the door on that. But in it, no matter what he's trying to do, or the reason that he's doing it, I should say, no matter what the reason is, clearly he's throwing the ball to Andrews, and his body's oriented further outside, so it just doesn't work. It ends up being a little sidearm. But look, hey, there's plenty of examples of him throwing sidearm and throwing really accurately. Or some of the RPOs, some of the stuff where he's fitting it in windows. There's one throw against the Raiders. He throws sidearm. Unbelievable, like a 10-yard throw to Andrews. This just ain't one of them. Poor throw by him. Off target with all this space to get the ball to Andrews. And again, I'm sorry for the video quality. You know, I do think he's trying to, that curl flat defender's off screen over here somewhere. I do think he's trying to pull him down to the running back to create more space for Andrews. You guys, if you've watched this channel enough, or my old channel, you know that Lamar, I think Lamar is an incredibly smart player. I'm not sure if this ball was tipped. It may have been. The more I look at it, some people say it was tipped. Some people say it was not. Right there. So maybe that's why the ball is so inaccurate. I wasn't even open to that possibility until right now. Someone told me this ball was tipped before. It certainly could be, and that could be the reason why it veers off here to the right, which just takes all of my analysis for the last 3 minutes and turns it to shit. All right, one more play from the Miami game with this poor resolution. I apologize. I got this labeled, China out flood. So you're going to get a clear out route by the Z, which is typically Marquise Brown. Ricard's going to go out into the flats. He's looking to protect here on the edge at first, and there's apparently nothing he deems fit to help with, so he releases out into the flats. And then from that, you're going to get Andrews running what I would call the China out as the intermediate route between this shallow route by Ricard and this clear out route by Brown. So let's run it back one more time. You can see Andrews' work. He's right here. He gets jammed up by the OLB and then works his way to the curl. 13-yard gain. Let's check out Lamar. Andrews is right here on the right-hand side of the screen. And the OLB, fit 43, is going to jam him up briefly and then try to carry him into the curl. Look at Lamar this time. Feet aimed directly at Andrews. Shoulder aimed directly at Andrews. Different from the last one I showed you where we thought that Lamar was maybe trying to deke the curl flat defender into widening up or coming down on a shorter route and then throwing it to Andrews. All right, that was it. That's my 10 throws from the pocket for Lamar Jackson for late February 2022. I'm going to try to put the date in some of these so that way when people watch them, they understand what the timing is of the videos, because certain people watch the videos months later and then ask why it was released. I'm like, I don't know why it just showed up on your YouTube timeline now. I released it months ago. Let me know what you guys think of Lamar throwing from the pocket, a generally clean pocket here. None of these are scrambles or where he extended the play outside the pocket and made a play with his arm or his feet. I intentionally am going to separate those into different videos. I thought these were different enough concepts that they could illustrate Lamar is capable of reading the things he's asked to read when he's in the pocket. His receivers have separation, and he's got a generally clean pocket. We know that offensive line should be a huge focus for the front office staff in the offseason because the O-line was really horrible this past year. I would say they were bottom 6, bottom 8 as far as offensive line in terms of pass pro. You guys can tell me, where you think they fell in that regard. And that's not being disrespectful to those guys. I mean, that's just the reality of what I thought I saw in their performance. Anyway, 10 throws from inside the pocket from Lamar Jackson. Let me know what else you guys would like to see, as we continue to work closer to draft season and all the combine stuff. Thank you guys for checking the video out.